All right. Can you hear me now? Reboot now. Now check. Audio's good now. All right. I'm such a boomer. I'm a boomer. Ay. I don't know what the hell. I bet Clawbot can fix it. Oh boy. Then you hear mic check. You hear Knucklehead over there. All right. So let's make sure we're everywhere that needs to be. All right. Looks like we're on X. Looks like we're on YouTube. A couple people on the Josh Scanlon YouTube channel. Most people again on Heritage Wealth. My problem is, Marie, that it connects to my phone somehow, this new computer, and hey, Alaska. And I don't know. I always forget to turn off the thing when I log in. I'm just dumb. I'm just a snowflake. So hold on. So it looks like we're on X. It looks like we're on both YouTube channels, and looks like we're on Facebook. Okay, good. So it looks like we're everywhere we need to be. All right. Alaska, man. We're probably colder in America than we are in Alaska. Just turn off auto join for Wi-Fi on your phone. How about you? Don't tell me what to do. Huh? Just turn off auto join for. Oh, okay. So I can do that. Just turn off auto join. Interesting. I did not know I could do that. Dude, it's going to be like freaking. It's already feeling like 1 degree here today. And that right now. Isn't that crazy? It's going to feel colder than a witch's. Am I on MySpace? Oh my goodness! They got the internet on the wait. They got the what did Homer say? They got the internet on the TV now or something. I can't remember what he said. Anyway, I guess we had a little bit of snow, not much. Going to be 63 here in Friday, says Harry. Well, happy birthday, Harry! Happy birthday! I think we keep at 70. We're minus 53 3 weeks ago. I'm still down up to Prodigy, whatever said, man. And when I'm downloading, those girly pictures, it just goes like pixel by pixel by pixel. Oh, 63 degrees. I gotcha. What, no audio again? Wait, you can't hear again? No, I don't think Harry's turning 63. Wait, did I lose audio? Okay, cool. As long as Pulverizer hears me. All right, my man Faith Dimmer says, a future retired Chicago public school teacher here. Your content has led me to look at the real estate in northern Mississippi on the Tennessee border for my next life. Right on, man. Absolutely. Just stay away from Memphis, right? You don't want to be anywhere near Memphis, that's for sure. But Mississippi, big fan. A little bit too hot for me. All right, I guess I am on Facebook. My wife just liked it. But I like Mississippi. But like the facts are, there's only going to be one place that's safe in the U.S., and probably the next time Democrats take over. It's going to be the Appalachian, Oklahoma, eastern Texas, through Louisiana, most parts of Louisiana, Appalachian Trail or Appalachian Mountains. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be no other place to go. Oxford, Mississippi, home of Ole Miss. Memphis is fine if you want a street fight. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of street fighting, that's for sure. But I have a client who lives there, and he's crushing. But at the end of the day, Memphis is Memphis. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so yeah, Mississippi. I tell you, man, it's the unwoke Alamo. If Greenland and Canada would be safe states. But if I think rolling hills, pines, people are freaking friendly as hell. It has been sometimes I caught you live, Josh. Okay. And you're AK Alaska Broncos fan. Your name doesn't ring a bell to me. Oh, ICE was in Portland, Maine today. Hell yeah. Do you see that chick in South Portland, Maine, that Muslim chick, Ted, who said, we got to take care of Somalis first? And she's like, and they're like, oh, and she just stepped down because hopefully she goes to jail. Isn't that crazy? South Portland, Maine voted for their rep as a Somali chick whose number one priority is to Somalia. This is how bad white guilt is. There's no black people in South Portland, Maine. For somehow they voted for a Somali chick who said her number one priority was taking care of Somalis. And I said, yeah, she's beautiful. I said, what is it with white people and their guilt? It's insane to me, man. Like, what is it with these people? It's nuts to me. Dude, it's nuts. Get over it, white people. You're embarrassing. You're embarrassing, man. Ugh. It's all there's a lot of white men like that too, though, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's they're so desperate to relive Selma and to think that they would have been out there marching in Selma when they wouldn't have been. They would not have been, because these liberals, they're just whatever the cool kids are doing, man. They would have been on the side of the Little Rock yelling at the black girl, Elizabeth Eckford. I guarantee they would have been, because they just do what the cool kids are. They're all over. You should look at Duluth City Council, Duluth City, same thing. White liberals are going insane right now. Yeah, that nothing makes me happier than white liberals going insane. I have a friend on Facebook I used to know in high school, and she's a very nice lady. But she posted that we need to be more empathetic. So she posted the thing that says, F Trump, we need to be more empathetic, blah, blah, blah. And we need to be more like, and then she had a picture of that Louis Gianni guy. And I was like, wait, we need to be more empathetic, be more loving, be more kindful. And you had a picture of the Louis Mangione guy? I was like, what? You can't square that circle, man. Windy and Atlantic sailing to Miami? Are you for real doing that? Dude, that sounds horrible, man. It sounds like you're going to be freezing. Didn't you hear that boat that sunk off the coast of Massachusetts? Yeah, it's true, but North Dakota will be good too. 100%, man. North Dakota will be good. Yep. What I'm saying. I mean, a lot of those places Minnesota, by and large, Minnesota is pretty right wing. It's just kind of pretty typical of every other place. I mean, when you actually think about it, you escape, the urban area of Virginia, you're not taking that woke crap. It's just not going to fly. You escape the urban areas of, even South New Jersey, they call that Little Alabama, or New Jersey, Alabama, whatever. You're not taking that woke crap. So in some ways, it's just the politics of the state are not really representative of the actual people in the state, but they just have more people in those, little areas of urban area. But they're not going to, when you actually, by and large, yeah, they can do some idiotic stuff in terms of no natural gas in the state, no pipelines, high raised tax. I get all that. They're not going to take, they pass a law in Virginia, you got to give up your firearms whatever. No one's going to do that. Everyone's like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to, the sheriff won't enforce it in Rockingham County, Virginia. It's just not going to happen. So other than college towns and urban areas, you'll be fine in most places, even in Minnesota. But with that said, when the National Guard is called out by the governor or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And we saw what happened during COVID. There are very, very few places left that are going to stand up to the bullies. It's just a fact. And, the South, thankfully, because the South's been everybody's whipping boy for so long that they're just like, we don't care. Literally, they don't care. West Virginia, they don't care. You call them anything you want, they're like, we don't care. Actually, you should read my man Thomas Sowell's book, Black Rednecks, White. Let me see if I can't find it here. Black Rednecks, White Liberals. It's one of the best books I've ever read. I'm not gonna be able to find it. Can never find the book when I need it. But it's just fantastic. I think Liam's reading it, or supposed to be reading it. Anyway. Oh yeah. While we're doing this, let's see if my man Milton Friedman. Yeah, let's look at this real quick. Yeah, I guess I don't have it. Oh man. Anyway, Thomas Sowell's book, Black Rednecks, White Liberals. It always cracks me up. People, when I talk about tariffs, they say, you should read an economics textbook. I'm like, oh, really? Like what one? Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell. Who's that? Never heard of him. Crazy. Anyway, so hey, let me see something funny. Here's old Milton. Oh, that's not the one. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Is this one? Really? I should read Thomas Sowell? I'm not familiar with him. You don't understand tariffs. You should read Milton Friedman. Oh, Milton Friedman. Huh? Oh, Milton Friedman. Signed copy of Free to Choose. To Josh Scanlon with best wishes, Milton and Rose Friedman, his wife, Rose Friedman. Interesting. Who's got a signed copy of a Thomas Sowell book? Oh, your boy, Josh. Signed copy of Milton Friedman. Yeah, right there. Just let's see here. What does Milton Friedman say about? I'm probably not going to be able to find it. Anyway, Milton Friedman said explicitly the Fed caused the Great Depression by contracting the monetary supply. Just throwing it out there, my friends. The Great Depression was caused by the Fed, not because of government printing go burr. The exact opposite. They contracted the monetary supply. You can read it in here. You can read the history of the monetary. There's got a monetary thing, another book with him and Anna Schwartz, the history of money, essentially. Read about it. It's very interesting. So is he right? Is he wrong? I don't know. But all the people saying, oh, the government printing go burr, that's inflationary, that's horrible. It's like, no, that's actually not true. Because that's what did not happen, which led to the Great Depression, according to Milton Friedman. Right here, let's see if we can find it. Monetary policy. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to look for it off the top of my head. Oh, do I have any highlights in that here? No, maybe not. Oh, wait, maybe I do. Hold on, I saw a couple of highlights. The onset of depression. Let's see. Right here. So these depressing effects of the stock market crash was strongly reinforced by the subsequent behavior of the Federal Reserve System. At the time of the crash, the New York Fed, almost by conditioned reflex, instilled during the Strong era. There's a guy named Strong who was the initial, I can't remember his name, but he was like big in the Federal Reserve, immediately acted on its own to cushion the shock by purchasing government securities, thereby adding to the bank reserves. Makes sense. Quantitative easing. That enabled commercial banks to cushion the shock by providing additional loans to stock market firms and purchasing securities from them and others affected by the crash. Makes sense. But then Strong was dead, and the board wanted to establish its leadership and move rapidly to impose a discipline on the New York Fed, and New York yielded. Thereafter, the system acted very differently than it did during the economic recessions of the 1920s. Instead of actively expanding the monetary supply by more than the usual amount to offset the contraction, they allowed the quantity of money to decline throughout 1930, compared to the decline of roughly 1/3 of the quantity of money from the late 1930 to 1933. The decline of the quantity of money seemed mild, a mere 2.6%. However, by comparison with past episodes, it was sizable. Indeed, it was a larger decline than occurred during or preceding all but a few of the earlier recessions. The combined effect of the aftermath of the stock market crash and the slow decline in the quantity of money during 1930 was a rather severe recession. Even if a recession had come to an end in the late 1930 and 1931, it might have well done if the monetary collapse had not occurred. So basically, the contraction of the monetary supply by 1/3 from 1930 to 1933. What Milton Friedman said was one of the, and you can see, banking crisis, causes of the Great Depression. So it's funny, if you actually look through here in the Great Depression, you'll see of all these links to, let's see, Great Depression. It's going to be hard to see. Great Depression right there. You see all these things, monetary, and then one thing on tariffs. It's just funny. Great Depression, like page after page of government spending, monetary policy, blah, 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 and then one reference to tariffs. But Smoot-Hawley caused a Great Depression. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Here's my man. Here in Massachusetts, only 6 degrees is A and about 10 degrees down. Wood burners providing wonderful heat on a cold New England night. 100%, Steve. I tell you, wood burners, way to go. I'm surprised they haven't banned them yet. Look at my man up here. From the main cabin, nice fire in the wood stove. Right on, dude. Yeah, Walter Williams, legend. Yeah, absolutely. Josh is name dropping. Yeah, I'm a name dropper. Gordon Lightfoot, he just died? I thought he already died. I thought Gordon Lightfoot, thought you were going to read us a bedtime story. Yeah, Lou Holtz is in hospice, yeah. Yeah, Virginia. She's a CIA person. I don't trust the voting. I just don't. That doesn't mean I think it's all fake or the Democrats don't have. At the end of the day, the CIA is going to get who the CIA wants. That's just a fact. Did Brett Favre do that? You might want to think twice about that. You might want to think twice. That's why it pissed me off when smug liberals always talking about how the blue states fund red states. Yeah, but most of that money goes to big blue cities, 100%, dude. Yep. Pine Barrens, a real American New Jersey, 100%. Yep. Trent Lott was from Mississippi. Absolutely. I was listening to Doors all day, but I sold my Subaru 6 months ago. Still 57 flavors. If you're listening to Doors, you're pretty gay. There's no other way around that. All right, so I thought Jordan Lightfoot. Yep. No wind power and solar to keep you warm. Yep. I like Warsh. I like what he said, man. Warsh, he said something. I'm not all that familiar with him, but some guy posted saying this is why the market's crashed because what Warsh said. I was like, I'm a fan of what he said, man. I was like, wait, let's see if I can't find that because I was like, dude, this is 100%, dude. Big fan, long time, first time. So let me see if I can't find that tweet or whatever the hell it's called. Because profile. Let me see if I can't find it. Warsh. I'm not sure if I can. But whatever the hell he said, man, I was like, dude, I think I'd be able to find that. All right, hold on a second. Boink. Boinky. Hang tight, amigos. Hang tight. Here's Michelle Wu, the governor or the mayor of Boston. Every single human being has a legal right to come to the United States and seek shelter. No, that's simply not true. Every single human being does not have a legal right to come here and seek shelter. We need to stop this. It's insanity. Let's see if I can't find the Warsh thing because it was pretty. I liked it a lot. I was like, damn, that guy's crushing. I don't know anything else about him other than this one speech he gave in front of the World Economic Forum. Let's see if we can't find it. Hold on just a second. I'm going to find it, guys. We're going to see where it's at. All right. No, not there. Not there. Maybe I won't. Maybe it'll be too late. No, there it is. It's coming. Keep going. Nope. Not there. There's Milton Friedman. The Federal Reserve definitely caused the Great Depression by contracting the amount of money in the circulation by 1/3. That's what Milton Friedman said. I didn't say that's what Milton Friedman said. So just FYI. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it. Dagnabbit. It's because it's way down here, but there it is. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Let's see if we can't show this. This is fantastic. So hang tight. If I go to share, how the hell do I go to share again? Nope, that's not it. Hold on a second. Share screen. And we're going to share right there. Boink. And we're going to listen to what this guy says here. All right. So let's turn this up.
Credit channels and lending channels appear quantitative easing is fundamentally different than cutting interest rates, and that it appears to be working through fundamentally different transmission channels. No longer credit channels and lending channels appear to be the dominant way in which it impacts the economy. It appears much more to be working itself through asset prices. Whether you think about housing stocks or financial stocks, I think that is the dominant channel. And as a first approximation, if 3/4 of our fellow citizens get 96% of their income from labor income, it strikes me we ought not be dismissive and saying, oh, everybody wins. When I look at the wealth creation across the financial asset world post-crisis, I view that wealth creation as being significantly above what my former colleagues predicted. When I look at what they expected in the real economy, I look at the real economic performance as markedly worse than they predicted. And so that's what I think raises these questions, makes them absolutely germane to today's discussion. And I very much do worry, as I'm sure many of the people in this room do, that we've created a product not with bad intent. We've created a product that may or may not turn out to be counterproductive. We are in the middle of this experiment as we are now, but where the gains have been extracted by the most well-to-do, by the most sophisticated, who see that the central banks are, to one degree or another, trying to get asset prices up to drag up the real economy. They get the joke. They have been willing to play the game. And it does strike me as though we have to think about not just the efficacy of these programs, but really who are the winners and the losers.
Damn, dude, I'm freaking right on, buddy. Right on. That's fantastic. Yeah, I completely agree with all that. 100%. Anyway, so yeah. All right, so let's go into Right Capital. And if I can hit share right there. So we're going to go over here, Right Capital. And what we're going to do, all right, hit share screen right there. And this is Diane Sample. All right, so Diane Sample is 62 years old. All right. She's got $1 million in VOO in an IRA, all in VOO. And she wants to spend, how much ever spending? $5,000 a month for the rest of her life. And we're going to have her living until she's 90 years old. All right. So basically, she's going to be spending roughly 6% of her portfolio initially every year. But she will get some Social Security. And we're assuming her Social Security is $3,000 a month at her full retirement age. Now, initially, we're going to take that 70 just to kind of show you what I was looking at here. All right. Everybody with me on that so far? So she needs, like I said, $60,000 a year on $1 million portfolio, and she's 62 now. She'll live until she's 90, so 28 years retirement. Once Social Security kicks in, she won't be drawing nearly as much off her portfolio. Yeah. So what we do is we click on retirement, and we're going to see that she has a 94% probability of success. First thing I want to show you, though, is right here. She's 100% stock, so she has a 5.8% assumed rate of return with a 16% standard deviation. So that 16% standard deviation means we times 16 by 3, that's 48, and subtract by basically 6. So in any given year, she could be down 42%. And when you factor it in inflation, that's the worst market we've ever seen. Never seen anything like that. And yet, even with that risk, she's still coming in pretty hot. She's dying with $605,000 left, and she has 94% probability of success. So you can see the only rare time she runs out of money is right there when she's 87 years old. 5% of the time she runs out of money. Not likely to happen. Not likely to happen. All right, but again, we have her taking Social Security at 70. All right, so you can see from, actually, I want to show you this right here. So what you're going to see is she's taking, oops, let me go here, blink. She's taking 6.5, 6.3, 6.6, 6.9, 7, 7, 7, 5, and then all the way down here when Social Security starts kicking in, and then RMDs start kicking in. So in this case, she's pretty good to go. Pretty good to go, even with a lower rate of return than historical amounts in the high standard deviation. So you can see she's got no, I got to put 2026 on here. Hold on a second. I got to change it. I got to add 2026 because we want her to retire now. All right, there we go. It's probably going to drop it some. Let's take a look. Yeah, dropped it down to 90. But anyway, so you can see, we go to cash flows. All right. We go to summary. All right, so you can see she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years of no income, and she's going to need $70,000 a year from her portfolio. All right, so her portfolio is worth $1 million. She needs $70,000. That's a 7% distribution rate when you factor in taxes as well. So that's her spending adjusted with 3% inflation, and that's her taxes. So that's her spending. So once Social Security kicks in at 70, it'll be $53,965 with delayed earnings credits and a 2.4%, 2.4% COLAs. All right, so once that kicks in, she only needs $24,000 from her portfolio. That's it. That's where the 4% ratio was of withdrawal rate. So basically, she's living off her portfolio until she's 70 years old, and Social Security is going to provide the bulk, and you can see her taxes go way down from 6,200 to 2,000. All right. All that makes sense. All that's good to go. But again, we have Social Security increasing by 2.4%, regular inflation increasing by 3%, and our portfolio is only giving us a 5.8% rate of return. So then the question is, what if she took Social Security early, Josh? All right. Because of whatever reason, we're going to have her taking it early as possible. All right. Watch what happens here. It's going to drop. Ooh, to 70%. What? And you can see right here, she has a 25% probability of running out of money by the time she's 88. And by the time she's 90, she has, pretty good probabilities. She's only at 75%. That's it. In fact, right here, when she's 78 years old, 5% of the time she ran out of money. Yikes, yikes, yikes. That's not good. So what's that about? And so you can see she's taking a reduced Social Security, all right, and her portfolio is still only growing by 5.8. Now, the problem with this, of course, is that I'm assuming that Social Security only gives us a 2.4% COLA, and inflation is 3%. Well, if you actually look historically, let me stop sharing here. If you actually look historically, I'm going to share this with you. Share screen right there. Social Security and CPIW, which is what the COLAs are based on, have tracked pretty doggone close. In fact, it's hard to see, but Social Security COLAs were over 25 years since 1977 were above CPI, whereas 23 years CPI was above Social Security. But there's only basically a 0.02% difference in COLAs versus inflation. All right, so it's very close. They track pretty doggone close historically. So one of the things I want to do then, I said, okay. So the first thing we got to do is we're going to stop this. Is we're going to come back to here. We're going to say, well, let's make Social Security a little bit. Hold a second. Let's make it track inflation a little bit better than what's showing, because again, I'm only giving it 2.4% COLA, but inflation is at 3%. So I said, all right, so let's do this. What if we make set? And now y'all can't do this, only I can do it because I got the magic. And now we're going to make Social Security a 3. All right. Boink. And then we're going to hit time. Remember, 70% before, taking it as early as possible. Now we're at 75%. Interesting. So that one change, making Social Security COLAs equal to inflation, that one change made her portfolio, her probability of success jump from 70 to 75 if she takes Social Security early. Interesting. Now let's do something else here. All right. I said, well, what happens if we make the portfolio get a higher rate of return? So we're going to go to return assumptions, and we're going to come over here. We'll just say, for simplicity, we'll say 8% rate of return. All right, for 6.5 for mid and large cap stocks, because that's what she has. She's all in the SP 500. So now I'm going to make her portfolio give us an 8% rate of return as opposed to what? As opposed to 5.5, more historical numbers. And this is pre-inflation, by the way. So if we see her portfolio, we see she's getting an 8% basically, whereas before it's 5.5 or 5.8 is what I had before. Watch what happens now. Oh, now she's at 88%. Interesting. Very interesting. 85 is really the sweet spot. So if she were to take Social Security early, she's at 88% if Social Security and CPI match, which basically have since 1977. And I didn't do before that because before it was all congressional. I think they started doing a congressional, I can't remember, but 1977 was the big changes in Social Security were made. And before that, and CPI was made too. And before that, I think it was all congressional. Anyway, so I'm just using 1977. So Social Security and CPI matching have been historically, basically dollar for dollar. When I change it to those match, she went from a probability of 70 to 75, all right? But when I changed the investment returns, she went from a probability of 75 to 88. And the reason for that is simple. If Social Security is going to give us 8% delayed earnings credits, and my investments are only giving us a 5.8% rate of return with a massive volatility in there, inherently it makes sense to take Social Security later and draw down your worst performing asset class, which would be your investments. If I think my investments are only going to give me 5.5 and Social Security is going to give me 8 and Social Security is guaranteed with no volatility at all, inherently I want to take my Social Security later and my investments earlier. There's just no two ways around that. On the counter of that, if I think my investments are going to give me not only an equal rate of return, if not better than Social Security, but there's standard deviations, and the standard deviation benefits me more than it hurts me, I'm going to take my investments. Why? Because my investments outperform. If that makes sense. I'm going to take my Social Security early and leave my investments because my investments outperform. And remember, the standard deviation isn't just all downside risk. It's downside risk plus upside potential. And if you look at the history of the stock market goes up 3 for every 4 years. So there's a lot more upside potential than downside in the standard deviation when you actually factor it. So investments, even Steven, Social Security and investments being the same, the issue is Social Security has no standard deviation. It just goes up like that. But the investments does. But the standard deviation is on the upside and downside as well. What I mean by that is everyone wants to focus on the downside. They'll say, look at that standard deviation. That means on any given year, we could be down 42%. Oh my goodness. And that's what you should focus on. The counter to that, of course, is on any given year, you could be up 48, 54%. And if the markets perform as they have done historically, i.e. in terms of ups versus down, 3 years out of the 4, you're going to be on the positive side. And as such, there's more likely to get upside potential on your portfolio than downside. So that would say Social Security would take it early. It makes sense. With that said, even with that, though, we're still only at an 88% probability. That's fine. I get no qualm with that. Again, 85 is the sweet spot. Where we had a 98% probability with Social Security here, taking it later. And if we actually look at our retirement details, you'll see with the proposed plan, we're not pulling as much out, 3.87, because we're taking Social Security. All right. So that's kind of modeling some Social Security. It's looking at like inflation, looking at our portfolio as well. Now, that's living until we're 90. What if we only live until we're, watch this. Oops. What if we only live until we're 85? Because she's 62 now. The likelihood of her living until 90 isn't very high, especially if she's single. So we're put her at 85 years old. And watch what happens here. Now we're at 92%, all right, because we have her dying 5 years earlier. We have her portfolio giving her a much higher rate of return. And we have Social Security, COLAs equaling CPI on both of these things. Interesting. But even here, she's still only leaving 1 million. I mean, I don't think that's a big of a deal, but still some people do. 1.2 million. Very interesting. Now, at the end of the day, though, we're still going to have the same, you can see right here. As we're going higher because of required distributions, we're still not getting anywhere near essentially a 4% or a 5% rate of withdrawal. Not at all. That's interesting. Now, on the other hand, I'm 64 and a half. I took it now. I would get 546 more than if I took it at 62. That includes COLAs, 100%, man. That I see for me, I want the guarantee in the bank. But what if we cut Social Security by 20%? But I think it's stupid, but people get all, they're going to cut Social Security. I'm like, okay. So now we're going to have her, instead of getting $3,000 a month, we're have her getting $2,400 a month. All right. We're going to cut it by 20%. Boink. And now watch what happens. Still at 86 and 91. Now remember, this right here is with a higher rate of return on both these things, a higher rate of return. But this right here is taking Social Security at 70. This is taking Social Security at 62. Pretty doggone close, all said and done. Pretty doggone close. But let's go make the portfolio go back to 5.5. All right, so we can go back to 4.5, or we'll just say 5 for simplicity. 2 and 4, 1.5 and 4.5, and 1 and 5. All right, boink. So we're reducing our rates of return. Now we're at 74 and 81. Pretty close still, but again, this one has her only live until she's 85. This one has her live until she's 90. If we had her live until she's 90 over here, watch what happens. It's going to drop to 66, and that's too low. All right, so everything here, the portfolio returns are the same. I think it's 6% at 5.8. Let me just double check. It's 5.8, 6% with a pretty high standard deviation. All right, if inflation and CPI are the same, 3%. Inflation and CPI are the same. The only difference is her Social Security here is as early as possible. Her Social Security here is at 70. That's the only difference. So what's happening is she's spending down the lower asset performer here and allowing the higher asset performer to grow. That's literally what she's doing. Like Harry just said, because he didn't take it at 62, single women live longer. Yeah, but a lot of times single people don't live, generally speaking, as long as married people. I get you. But it's like Harry said, he said he got yeah, she told me that too, Steve. She says, I'm going to outlive Steve by decades. I said, how do you know? And she goes, well, he's got big fat life insurance. I said, gotcha. But anyway, so Harry says he took Social Security. If he took it now, it'd be 500. That's freaking $550. That's the Medicare right there. Literally, that's his Medicare right there. Because he waited till he's 64 and a half. And that's locked and stocked right there and never going away. Marie says she signed up for Social Security at 65. Yeah, and Marie's single. So for all you fellas out there who like bicyclists, which I don't know why you would, in Pennsylvania, Marie's out there. And she's looking for a fella. Actually, I don't know if she is or not. But anyway, Marie's crushing it. But Marie's single. I mean, that's the thing. I don't always say, generally speaking, you take it at 65, hit Medicare. Why? I mean, I'd have no qualm with that at all if I'm single. Because when you're dead, you're dead. There's no one there to rely on. Who cares? And with that said, I mean, frankly, when older women, get to 87, 88 years old, they're not spending a lot of money. Anyway, so the point being is that it's very contingent on what you think your COLAs are going to be. What's Zwift? The old gals for me. Pulverizer meant to say no gals for me because Pulverizer is gay as the day is long. Pulverizer's like no gals for me because I like men. God, dude, freaking Pulverizer's like, is he like Big Mike? Has he got a package? Then I like him. Here's Andrew, 62, married, wife 58, will take at 70, wife will take at 62. Using my Social Security as an index inflation annuity, 1%. And if memory serves, that's a different Andrew. We'll spend down pre-tax retirement accounts. Yeah, I might look at that differently. I might spend down post-tax, pre-tax. Yes, I got you. I misread that. Absolutely. Single people probably take more risks than married people. Yeah, except married men for some reason have this affinity for getting on roofs and doing stuff on roofs. I don't get it. Don't get on a freaking roof, man. For the love of God, hire a young guy to do that. Jeez. 55 now. If you think about it, I retired early like you. Well, yeah. Is it Charlie in the house? Watch for Philippines. Right on. Look at Charlie. The Philippines avoiding winter. I was just talking to a guy just the other day who's married to a Filipino lady, and it's funny because just like your wife, let's just put it this way: if anyone thinks Filipino lady are like, they'll just do whatever I say. No. So she's like, because he sent me my fee, and she's like, "Why are you spending this kind of money on that guy?" It's actually pretty funny. I said, just the idea that these Filipino lady are a little, I don't know, violets or whatever the hell it is, not aggressive. I said, no. It just cracks me up. And his first wife, anyway, not a good scenario. He's gonna be moving there too from a very cold place like where you are, Charlie. Not in Michigan, but another cold place up that way. And he's gonna be moving to the Philippines. I think he said in 2 years. So I said, man, more power to you, brother. And he's not a young whippersnapper like UCB, but just great guy, man. We just had such a fun conversation. Oh my goodness, this guy, I don't know if he's on here or not, but it just freaking makes, kind of brings me tears to my eyes just because how fun we're having. Because big, like a right-wing hippie, kind of like me, you know what I'm saying? Like hates abortion, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't like woke crap, but also gets the idea that big pharma might be pushing bad products, gets the idea that big ag might be pushing bad products. There's a lot of benefits of regenerative agriculture, the organic stuff, I mean, I get it. Organic, I just don't like the fact you got to get a USDA stamp on it. Stupid, but still at the end of the day, why is it Italy? You go to Italy, eat like a freaking crazy man, and come back lesser weight in better shape than what you eat here. Why is that? Because they don't have as much chemicals in their crap that we got here. We got chemicals all over the place, man. And I'm not anti-GMO. I'm not necessarily pro-GMO. I'm pro-GMO, the fact that it's fed a lot of people. I mean, I'm not no way. I got clients who are involved in GMOs, and they say, Josh, there's no reason to worry about it. I just don't know. I just don't know. If you're spraying all the agriculture crops with stuff that kills nature, that inherently can't be good for the people who eat this. That's what I just don't get. It's like we're spraying this stuff all over the place so that it can't be killed, and or we're growing it so it can't be killed. But that we're part of nature too. Anyway, I'm not against it. I'm not one of these anti-GMO. I am anti-jabbies. I am 100% anti-jabby. So any of you are on here did not know that. Yeah, I've let you know. I'm anti-jab. You can do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Just don't try to freaking force that crap on me. But I still wonder about GMOs. I just do. At the end of the day, I wonder. So I don't know. But I do have some clients that are big in that. They're like, dude, it's no big deal. So it's all good, man. But man, freaking Charlie crushed. Let's say prayers, everybody, because man, Heavenly Father, there's just so much to be anxious about in this world. But just always turn to you. Please just turn to you for all this, all the creatures that you've created, to recognize in the good of our fellow man, the love that you have for us by sending your son to die. And if Jesus loves us and sacrificed his whole life in an agony, pain and agony, how can we hate our own fellow man? How can we do it? And God, just give us the strength to turn to you before we get angry and hateful. It doesn't make any sense for Christians to be that way. We have Jesus as our guiding light. How can we turn away from that? And yet it's so easy to fall for the devil's lies, Lord. So easy to fall for his lies. And we just pray in Jesus' name for all of nature, to remember nature. We are part of nature. We don't own nature. We are part of it. It's all your world, everything you've created. May we always respect what you've done. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Anyway, I just, well, look at my man, Jeremy. Jeremy says, my fiance, that's right. Jeremy's got a friggin' Filipino wife. And Filipinas are pretty good looking. AQG for the win. I don't even know what the hell that is, dude. I don't know what that is. All right. So, Ice Dam City in the Northeast. Lots of guys are going up to at least yeah. Well, yeah, 100%, man. Oh, GMO puppies and jabs. Oh man, we got to put a cone on Pablo today, by the way. Oh, dude, no one gives a silent treatment to my wife. Like, oh my, what we know what, Penelope. I hate GMOs and puppies. Don says, hey, thanks, man. Is that all that red 40 fatness up? I don't know what that is. Don't all gals have Tampo? For sure, my Western PA gal does. I'm good. Watch the PO. Just watch the P. Oh, the P. Tampo, aka I don't even know what the hell that means. Single women live longer than married women. Oh. Are you a single woman, Common Sense? Is that true? I am going to look it up. I'm not saying I don't believe a single woman, but I don't believe you. I don't know why you would lie about that, but who lives longer? Who lives longer in the United States? Single or married women? I don't think you're right. I will happy to be staying correct. I don't think that's true. Yeah, Common Sense. You crazy. Married women in the U.S. tend to live longer than single women, though the difference is smaller than it is for men. The longevity advantage of marriage is much more pronounced for men. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why married women live longer? Because they're married to men, and men are crushing everywhere. Married people tend to have better health behaviors and more social support. They're more likely to have health insurance and access to health care. Spouses often encourage each other to seek medical care and maintain healthier lifestyles. Yep. So I just did look it up, their Common Sense, and I got a feeling you're being uncommon. Yes, I'm a grandma. I'm right. Where are you getting your numbers? I got from AI, and AI never lies. I told my husband that married men live longer, but he says it just seems longer. Oh my goodness, your husband's a legend, Penelope. Oh, that's fantastic. I think Common Sense. I don't think your sense is all that common, Grandma. I don't think so. I had a Johnny Paycheck moment at work and was involuntarily retired at 65. Thank God. Just signed up for Social Security and Medicare. But thanks, Josh. I'm now a millionaire. I used to be. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I was going to do a whole lot more, but so what happens here? And remember, you guys don't have access to change the data, which kind of sucks, to be honest with you, but what am I going to do? Red 40s used to color processed food. Did JFK or RFK Jr. get away? By the way, can we stop this anti-Trump stuff? All these right-wingers out there, I just think it's just for freaking trolling. But I'm like, RFK Jr. is crushing. You know, the whole thing was like, Trump isn't doing enough. I'm like, what? Just give me a freaking, look, dude. Do I think Don Lemon's going to jail? No. Do I think any of these idiots are going to jail? No, I don't. At the end of the day, we have net negative migration for the first time in a long time. All right. We have freaking just so many things that are happening that would not have happened if freaking Heels Up Harris were in it. I just don't get why. It's crazy to me. Congress, 100%. It's like they don't like RFK's voice. And that he's actually fit. Yeah. Yeah, Congress, absolutely. No one's going to jail. It's not going to happen. Come on. People like Trump, no one's going to jail, man. Just not going to happen. Everybody has Medicare at 65. AI just told you the truth. No, that's not what? Common sense. You not hear what I just said? Oh, my goodness. Married women in the U.S. tend to live longer than single women. That's what it said. That's not what it's. No, it did not say unmarried women live longer. Oh, yeah. Common sense. Put down the freaking booze, man. They're not, I get it. They're not deporting a tenth of the 11 million. It's just, I don't know, but I don't think it's a dog and pony show. I think there's actually real stuff being moved. I mean, no one in the right mind thought they're going to go and grab 11 million people off the street and send them packing. I didn't. I just want to stop the flow and get some of these people out of here. And he's doing it, man. He's doing it. Anyway, I don't know what common sense. Common sense, you one of those wine drinking grandmas, you drinky. By the way, unmarried as in divorced or never married. I just know that men live longer, but it inherently makes sense why married people live longer. Generally speaking, Charles Murray talks about this. Married people are wealthier than single people. Just fact. Married people generally have higher educations. Just a fact. People with higher educations and wealthy are better. They have better health. They just do. They don't smoke. They can exercise. They work white collar jobs. These are just facts. Gripe all you want. A lot of poor people smoke cigarettes still. A lot of poor people are heavier. Just fact. And they're not as healthy. And these are just facts. So Obama deported 5.3 million. Yeah, 100%, dude. It's just, I ride 3 to 4. That's it, Murray? You only ride 3 to 4 hours a week? Oh, I thought you did more than that. I was a little bit unhappy. Trump talking about dangerous guns in reference to, Trump. Yeah, 100%. I mean, Trump is, the same thing with the butts. What is the, not the butt stocks, whatever that thing is, that idiot in Las Vegas. That's complete psyop. I mean, people died. Something happened with that Las Vegas shooting, the bump stocks, whatever the hell it was. Trump, run 100%. Trump is tone deaf on other things, without question. Without question. I don't deny that in the least. The whole COVID thing was proof of that. Literally, that turned me against Trump unequivocally. But the guy's bump stocks, that's what it was. I got to do a video on those farmers. Farmers are healthy, thank goodness, says Steve. I got to do a video on them Trump baby accounts, man. Someone has sent me something on that. I keep forgetting to do it. The people with common sense don't get married these days. I just think that's stupid. Married people are wealthier and healthier. 100%. I don't think that's correct, but I get it, man. I get it. There are someone. Oh, that's inside. Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Right on. Okay. Understood. Yeah, that's right. I forgot it's wintertime. Someone had posted something that's kind of interesting. She says this guy had posted on X, if you're 5'6" to 5'8", you're not wealthy and you're just working like a regular corporate job in your 30s, the likelihood of you finding, and you're not like super duper attractive, the likelihood of you finding a woman is 0. And some chick posted that. She said, I think that's true. I said, that can't be. I said, no way, dude. That can't possibly be true. If you're basically shorter than average, I'm 5'9", so I'm right at average. I'm decent looking, you know what I'm saying? But I never made a lot of money. I make good money now, but it's not a lot of money until I was, freaking 40, 38. And, but at the end of the day, I don't believe that to be true, man. I was like, so you're telling me all the shorter guys who have decent jobs but not making bank, who are average looking, they can't find a partner. There might be some truth to be. I just don't believe that, but who knows, man? Who knows? My grandson qualifies for Trump account. That's cool. Pushing my son to sign the little fella up to. That's awesome. Why do I think DOJ is not targeting? I don't. That's a great question, Mark. That is a problem. No other way around it. Look, Trump hires some freaking fools. Don Bang, whatever that guy's name is. Pam Bondi was the worst, unequivocally. I don't know. I don't know what the hell that is. I would go after employers too. I mean, literally, you go after the freaking. It's kind of like I've always said about drugs. If you want to stop the drugs, you go after the users. You don't go after the dealers. You go after the demand, not the supply. Same thing here. The demand is the employers. The supply is the laborers. You don't go after the labor. You go after the employers. And you throw them the hell in jail for violating the law. I mean, literally. If we find you're hiring illegals, you will be paid. You're not just going to freaking give us a fine. You're going to jail. This isn't rocket science, man. And yet these guys, it's just like, pay us up. It's insane. Look, do I think Trump is not in big with the corporate capitalist? No, I don't. I think he is unequivocally. And I do not think the idea that Trump's this freaking fascist is so freaking stupid. Trust me, as a guy who would like a Pinochet or a Franco, or Mussolini, I don't think Trump's anywhere near enough. Not at all. But it's not going to happen. It's not, because Trump is knee deep in with the corporatist. With that said, Trump is not knee deep in with the political elites. He's just not. He's never got knee deep with the NFL owners. They hated him. That's why he went to the USFL. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't like him. Never got knee deep in with the political elite. Never got knee deep in with him. They hated him because he's different. You know what I'm saying? He's vulgar, and all that. I get it. 100%. I mean, whatever. But he's certainly knee deep in with, the captains of the industry unequivocally. And they'll kiss his ass when they need to. They know what they're doing. The Jamie Dimons of the world, they don't like Trump, but they know they got to kiss his ass. And Trump likes his ass being kissed. There's no two ways around it. You kiss Trump's ass, you're going to, he'll pat you on the back. With that said, I'd rather have a real estate guy than some freaking MBA from Wharton who freaking works at a Goldman Sachs his whole career. That's a damn fact. No, Social Security is not being cut. Oh, is Brad back here? Brad, my pessimist? No, that's not. Is that the same Brad? Nah, Pam Bondi is not smart. I was listening to this interview with that Morgan guy. I can't remember if he hired Pam Bondi or one of his guys worked for her. The Morgan, look, he's a clown, I get it, but he seems like a pretty nice guy. He seems like he's a party guy. Let's put it this way. He seems like a party guy. I bet he's seen a lot of tables being sniffed and a lot of miscreants acting sexually, let's put it this way, and wrong. A lot of Ted Kennedy in that guy, I guarantee. Anyway, seems like a party guy, the Morgan guy. I can't stand politically, but he was talking about Pam Bondi, and she seems literally like a sorority airhead. He kind of made that implication that she's a sorority airhead. Now, he kind of said, "Oh, she's smart." I said, "No, I think you're just saying that to cover your tracks." But apparently one of his lawyers was dating her or something like that. And it just like it sounded like she was just very squishy in terms of like, why didn't you come visit me? We're supposed to go out. I was like, oh, this is our freaking attorney general. And look, it's not just because she's blonde and she's cute. No, but she just seemed like an airhead, according to what I was listening to this guy say. I was like, this is our attorney general. Good. She's not a bright person, I don't think. Look, I could be wrong. I don't know. I just know at the end of the day, it's like, you said you're going to release the Epstein files. Then you released them. Then they were obviously junk what you released. Then he came back and said, you and Trump, that the Epstein files are a hoax. And then you released it. What the hell is that about? And it just is so see, stuff like that pisses me off. Just don't lie. Just don't lie, man. Yeah, well, here's why I brought the hammer down on precious metals, because Warsh is a hawk. He's not a dove. All these freaking anti-Fed idiots, and pardon me. I know some of you guys are here. I like the Fed. The Fed is not our enemy. The Fed is our friend. And the issue, these idiots, they scream bloody murder about the Fed printing too much money. The minute we get a guy in there who's hawkish, you see the precious metals start dropping. I imagine the dollar increased. I don't know. And the same people screaming bloody murder are screaming bloody murder because Warsh. I'm like, what the? First of all, I have to say Washington. I'm like, what are you doing? What do you want? You want a strong dollar, weak dollar? You want you want less printing or more? What is this? You can't have it both ways. You can't scream bloody murder because of Fed printing, government printing, make machine go burr and massive inflation, which we don't have, and then turn around when we get a hawk in there and say, oh my goodness, he's crashing the precious metals. Imagine the dollar went up. Actually, let's take a look. Let's take a look what the dollar did. Did the dollar go up yesterday? Imagine it did. USD versus Canadian. Let's just look at the euro for simplicity. Yeah, so the dollar went up, a little bit. Yeah, well, that's against the euro. So the dollar did go up. Yeah, there it did. I mean, so it went up a penny. Well, not a penny. That'd be what, 2% against. Yeah, so it did go up against the euro. I'll show it to you. Oh, I can show it to you. I forgot. I can screenshot. The Fed doesn't provide that. We want, I think the private credit refinancing will crash markets. Okay. Me restating you is my sub coming to reality. I don't understand. Socialists might give high-end Social Security beneficiaries a good amount of additional capital haircut. I don't think so. Silver and gold. Are we buying the dip on gold and silver? Is it a dip? I don't know. I mean, how do you buy the dip if you're fully invested? That's what I never understood. I just bought when the market was low. So that meant you were out. That meant you were out of the market. I hate that. I'm listening to you, Johnny Java. I just hate that. I'm buying the dips. Oh, how? Well, I got cash. Oh, how? Well, so you weren't invested. How long have you been out of the market? Is this really a dip? Yeah, exactly. I hate that crap. I'm buying the dips. That meant you had to have cash. All right, so let's go show you. Here's a dollar against a euro. You can see it went up right there. Can you all see that? Yeah, so that's a jump. But the dollar's crashing, don't you know? Let's see about the dollar against Canadian. Canada, blame Canada. Imagine went up. Yep, dollar went up. Look at that. Boink. There we go. The dollar's crashing. Let's do the dollar against Japanese yen. All right. Oh, dollar went up. Yeah, there we go. And we'll do the dollar against the China. Oh, we already did the euro. Yeah, we did the euro. China. I don't even know what the hell the dollar went. It stayed flat. Well, it looks like it went down a little bit against the China. And we'll do dollar against the British pound sterling right there. Yeah, it went up again. So there you go. So the dollar crashing. Yeah, it didn't look like a crash. It looked like a crash starting there. Oh, by the way, I think I did a video on this. Maybe I didn't. Everyone's bitching and griping about Trump's tariffs. Guess what? Biden not only did not get rid of Trump's tariffs, he increased them. Just thought you'd tell you that. All right. You can be in the invest and still have cash on the side. That is a thing. All right. Well, then I say, how much cash have you had on the side and for how long there, Jeremy? Jeremy Bing Bang. How long have you had cash on the side? How much cash and how long? Jeremy Bing Bang. I bought the dip 5 years ago, exactly 100%. I don't. Yes, but when I hear buying the dip, yeah, all these people running. We'll never be invited to their party. Trade Minnesota for Alberta. Yeah, no, we already we want to trade California for Alberta. Devaluing the dollars. Devaluing the dollars to help our exports 100%. Absolutely. Dude, our massive debt is not an issue. Everyone's freaking out about the debt. The debt that even in Japan, Jill has sent me this article in Japan. Like Japan's the canary in the coal mine. It's like, oh. So who owns Japan's debt? No, Japan. 85% of Japan's debt is owned by Japan. Who owns the United States debt? Oh, the United States. I think it's like 80% or something like that of the United States debt is owned by Americans and institutions. Which means if they bankrupt by deflating the dollar, who's taking on the chin? Oh, we are. Okay, Americans are going to take it on the chin to deflate the dollar. It's just no, they don't have to pay it off, dude. It doesn't have to be paid. We own it. We just get the interest off it. Loving money, freaking guaranteed interest. As long as our economy can continue to grow soundly, which Trump is one of my favorite things he's doing, is net migration negative. I love it. 100% closing up the shops down low on those Canada and Canadian and the Mexican border, 100%. But we bring back some manufacturing. And I posted this the other day on my various socials. I don't think I did. I did a video on this. How bad it is, how much relying we're on China for steel, aluminum, magnets, large power transformers, shipbuilding. That none of this is good. That's all bad. And we're not going to get green energy. Green energy isn't the solution to any of this crap. So the facts are we got out of the World Health Organization. We killed the Green New Deal. We're bringing back slowly but surely manufacturing issues with shipbuilding, all this stuff. I mean, yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. It sucks, but it's going to take some time because it took 50 years to put us where we are. Saskatchewan. Yeah, dude, 100%. Big fan. Sell Hawaii, dude. I'd love to sell Hawaii, dude. Hell yeah. Sell Hawaii to the Japanese, 100%. Yeah, dude. Yeah, silver lost. I don't know if y'all saw the video I did on that just today. Silver was down 35% in one day. That is, do I have my phone? I don't. That is the decline that would never, ever, 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 ever see. Ever. It's, it would take what the Chat GPT, one of the AIs, 19 octillion years to ever see that happen again. If it's just a normal bell curve, because that's a 22 standard deviation event. It'd take 19 octillion years. Their universe supposedly has been around for 2 billion years or something like that. So it'd take like more than, I don't even know how many times over above the universe's histoire. It's insane how big of an event, a 22 standard deviation event in one day. That's 35% price drop in silver. It is crazy. Yeah, that's why I wonder. It's like, I don't know if any of you guys are option trader or anything like that. Triple witching hour and triple witching hour back in the old days meant something about options coming to all one day. Like, I can't remember. I just can't remember what it was. American options, European options, and something else I forgot. But anyway, all come together in one time. That usually will lead to more volatility. And I was like, there had to be something. The last trading day of the month, bets are called in. I don't know what it was, but dude, crazy. Quad witch. We are returning to the moon soon. Oh, yeah. Okay. We got to get there first before we can return. Got to get the moon first, brother. But you can't return to the moon if you've never been. Come on, man. Yeah, octillion. All right. Well, you got 6 to 9 months of cash in the money market. Okay. I got no problem with that. So now you're deploying that cash. That was your emergency fund into buying the dips. Is that what we're doing? Look, I got no problem with that. It's just, we're basically saying we're going to be essentially fully invested, right? Because we're buying, a couple $100, I don't care about. When people say I'm buying the dips, $100 here, 100, I don't care about that. If they're using a full year of their emergency fund cash and they had that cash as an emergency fund, that's fine. But now you have no more emergency fund, which seems to violate the premise of financial planning to have 6 months of cash. That 6 months of cash isn't supposed to be deployed on buying the dips. Now, if you want to do it, I don't care. I got no problem with that. Hell, I used to my emergency fund used to be my Roth and VTI. A bad move it turned out to be, but still, I got no problem with it. But then we can never say again, we're buying the dips. All right. So we can't have it both ways. We're buying the dips because we're going into our emergency fund, or we were market timing, and nothing wrong with market timing, by having a bunch of cash on the side because we got out of the market to wait for the dips to happen. And people don't want to say that, but that's the implication. See, this is what I don't like. I'm buying the dips. Oh, so you got out of the market at one point because you thought the market was going to tank. Not you, Jeremy, but this is what the implications are. Okay. And when did you do that, kind sir? No, 2009. Ah, gotcha. When did you get back in? Well, not really. Okay. So you've been waiting for that market tank for 15 years now, which never occurred. And you've just been buying the dips with money that's been out of the market that you would have been better off if you just let it sit there. Yeah, probably. Okay. Let's just admit it. For the buying the dips people, let's just admit that we're market timing. We believe the market's overpriced, so we're taking profits, we're putting in cash, and we're waiting for the market to contract again. And then I say, when did you do that? And of course, they all say 2007, October. When did you get back in? March 10th of 2009. I said, bull crap. They all say it. I got out at 2000, right before the market crash. I got out. Yeah. When did you get back in? If they're serious, they'll say 2015. I said, okay. So you miss that whole run because you market time when you could have just left it in there and took your lumps, but you would be far ahead. Anyway, all right. I'll buy some dips with it, but it's mostly emergency. USA savings are atrocious. Yeah, just put it in a money market account, man. Put it in a money market account. Yeah, let it ride up, or it's going to ride down or up. But getting in and out doesn't make any sense because you can't. I mean, dude, has anyone ever heard of long-term capital management, LTCM? The idea that freaking dark horse here, just picking on him because this thing showed up, can be better money managers than long-term capital management. It's just stupid. And the whole point about LTCM just shows you that it's impossibility to be a market timer and be profitable. It just is impossible. Now, you might be like Bill Danoff at Fidelity Contra Fund. He's far from a market timer. He's a buy and hold guy. You see what I'm saying? There are some guys who've been very successful at buy and hold, but they're not market timing. And market timing is like, my 200-day move. There used to be a guy in here, I forgot his name, Alberto. and he got really upset with me because my advocation of reverse mortgages. He got really angry at me. I was like, dude, what the hell? Weird. But anyway, and his wife's a realtor too. But he used to say, yeah, and he talked about 200-day moving averages. I was like, oh, the 200-day moving averages. It's like, okay. Anyway, the point being is it's impossibility to be a market timer and be as profitable as just buy and hold guy. It just is. And the reason for that is, at least historically, I have no clue what the future is going to hold. But, given the fact that we have no clue what the future is going to do, I will go with buy and hold and take my lumps. Now, do I have some cash on the side? Yes. Do I buy dips? No, I just don't, because I buy cash on the side. It's truly an emergency fund in case crap falls apart. I'm fully invested. Now, if I were to deploy, take off some gains off X and put it into Y, which is down, maybe I'd do that. I don't. But at the end of the day, I'm fully invested. I like my portfolio. I like the way it is. The calmest my portfolio has ever been in terms of exactly where I want to be. I got cash, I got long-term government bonds, and I got a lot of stocks, and I like it. Perfect. Because I know I got my cash to cover me if, S hits the fan. I think my long-term bonds are basically an annuity. They're paying me I guess my yield to cost is 6% a year because I bought them when the price is so low. So I'm getting yield to cost of 6% a year, essentially, on guaranteed government bonds. Volatility, I don't care about. And then my stocks, they go up and down. Perfect. Anyway. All right, I can get out of here, my friend. 7 years cash is way too much. Yeah, no, you don't know that. Actually, my man today just told me Danoff's retiring. I did not know that. Yeah. Yeah, you don't know 7 years cash way too much. No. Way too much for you. You don't make value judgments here. 100%, George. 100%. Yeah, don't make value judgments for other people, man. That doesn't make any sense. Did Danoff also manage the Fidelity? I don't know, Ted. Good question. Yeah, how is old Kathy Woods doing? Yeah, right here. Here's my man. Emergency fund is 4 to 6 months of cash. A line of credit from a reverse mortgage. 4 years into retirement. Portfolio management by Vanguard has been A-okay. Yeah, right on, dude. But you say methinks. So you're lying, Stephen. You said methinks, and earlier you said you were married to a woman. Anyone who says methinks is inherently not married to a woman. So what is it, Stephen? Oh my goodness. Are you married to a woman, or are you just lying to us because you thought, this is the cool kid place and you want to fit in with the cool kids? Because no one in the history of mankind who's ever said methinks is married to a woman. We just got to put it out there for you. Oh, Stephen, I had hopes for you, man. Hopes for you. You even have a reverse mortgage line of credit. But then he said methinks. Oh, gosh. The hits just keep on coming. Art imitates life. That band REM had a song with the lyrics, if you believe we put a man on the moon. Yeah, but REM just sucks, dude. The worst band in the history. I don't get the whole Nirvana, REM, boring. Of course, Jeremy said methinks. That's what I'm going to try to make this right. Look, I'm not getting naked for you, brother. Just FYI. Just not. Look, it ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. Well, maybe if you throw some bucks to me, I could do that. It'll all be on OnlyFans. I got my OnlyFans channel. Look, Jeremy. Jeremy's saying, don't ask, don't tell. And Jeremy's telling. Yeah, right 100%, man. Retired, 57. I can sleep with 7 years. Dude, perfect. Freaking stupid people in North Dakota. 7 years cash is too much. Freaking North Dakotans. I can't stand those North Dakotans. They all think they're that in a bag of chips. I did say it 10 times. Methinks. I did. I just like to say it, accuse other people of being gay. I said it 10 times myself. How dare I? Oh, no wonder why. Is there any ladies left on here? So no wonder why I'm using the bathroom a lot, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? If I use the bathroom a lot, because I said methinks 10 times. So let's just put it this way. I get very comfortable in the pot because things been going in where they should be coming out. I will finish. Yeah, dude, totally. Take a shot. Look at CB in Bohol, Philippines. Yeah, look at Penelope. She's still here. Right on. Methinks not Harry. Oh, my goodness. Dude, REM sucks. Anyone who likes REM needs to go pound sand right now. The worst band ever. All right. I'm going to watch Insomnia with my son, with Robin Williams and some other guy. Haven't seen it, but we're going to watch that tonight. And then Super Bowl next week. Seahawks. We've got the Seahawks. Chloe picked the Seahawks. And Chloe was 9-3 in postseason thing. Methinks, oh, boy. I'm glad I started something, you know. It's too cold to pound sand in Tampa. I have to do that later as an REM fan. Oh, God. I think I've just banned you, dude. Can't have REM fans. That is a good movie, Andrew. All right, cool. All right, good. All right. Harry's here first. Night, Harry. Appreciate you being here, brother. And just, remember, go Pats. I don't think they're going to do it, man, unless Darnold really lays an egg. But I don't think the Pats can do it. Oh, Springsteen sucks, dude. Oh, I never understood this whole appeal about Springsteen. All right. Methinks I'm out of here. Gotta go. See ya.